What's up guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to a brand new Liverpool transfer news video where we will talk about Matheus Nunes because Liverpool have major injury concerns now in midfield. Curtis Jones is out for a month. He has been seen with a protective brace on his foot, the protective boot that footballers wear after a serious injury. Curtis Jones was seen wearing one recently and he was confirmed to miss the next 2 or 3 Premier League games at least. Xavier also is out injured for a few weeks, maybe even a month or two, and Xavier has claimed that it's only a matter of time before Matheus Nunes leaves Sporting Lisbon and Liverpool are interested in him. And he made 99 appearances so far for Sporting, scoring 7 goals. But he's not famous for his goal scoring. I would rather compare him to a Thiago type of player than to Henderson or Naby Keita type of player. Henderson and Naby Keita are more box-to-box players. Matheus Nunes is a different kind of player who likes to sit in front of the defense and distribute the ball from there. But Abel Xavier, the former Liverpool centre-back who was famous for his extravagant haircuts, said, "I believe that Sporting will not be able to hold a player of this size due to his quality, which means he would adapt to any top English team." Basically, Sporting's and also all the top Portuguese teams' business model is to sign young players, develop them and then sell them on for a big profit, because if they would increase their wages significantly, then they wouldn't be able to run the football club and run their business effectively, because their large revenue comes, most of their revenue comes from player sales. And also, if you would keep some of those players and increase their salaries, then you would cut into your revenue massively, and then they would face even more financial problems. It is normal, Abel Xavier said, given the quality of the player, that not only Liverpool but also Manchester City and Wolves and Newcastle are interested in him, and Man City may eventually lose some players in that position. Bernardo Silva is rumored to potentially he might leave Man City. We don't know yet whether he wants to stay or go. But these two teams, Liverpool and Man City, are definitely thinking about Matheus Nunes, and his departure from Sporting is a matter of time. That's what Abel Xavier said, and it would appear a decision for Liverpool, from Liverpool is needed though, on whether they really want to pursue the player who is worth around 35-40 million pounds. Liverpool have appeared reluctant to sign a new midfielder this transfer window, instead prioritizing a potential pursuit of Jude Bellingham next summer. But now that Liverpool have quite a few injured players, we have Diogo Jota out as well, we have, as I said, Curtis Jones, Xavier out, and a few other midfielders, and we sent Tyler Morton on loan to Blackburn. So Liverpool are a little bit short in midfield right now, and Jurgen Klopp said we will only sign a player if there are significant injuries in the squad. That's something that has happened now. So the big question comes, is Liverpool now going to act in the transfer market? Let me know what you think. I think they should definitely act. And if you enjoy these videos, of course, leave a like, and if you are new around here, make sure to subscribe. And Nunes is stylistically a very different player to Jude Bellingham. He's a deep-lying playmaker, more comparable to Thiago than Jordan Henderson. Jordan Henderson and Naby Keita and Bellingham are more so box-to-box players, and I think it would be useful for Liverpool to have a player similar to Thiago. Remember, Thiago is like 31 years old. Yes, he's still at his prime. I think he still has a good 2-3 years at the top of European and English football, but you need to plan his replacement, and Matheus Nunes, he could learn from the best if he comes in this summer. And when Thiago is unavailable for Liverpool, his technical quality in the Liverpool engine room is very much missed, and the team's overall performance tends to drop significantly. The signing of Nunes would help to nullify and solve this issue, this problem. He could initially act as an understudy for Thiago, learning from the best along the way, and eventually succeed him in the starting 11 in 1, 2, 3 years, depending on how long Thiago stays at Liverpool. Matheus Nunes is only 23 years old, so he perfectly fits into the profile, the kind of player that Liverpool like to sign. And Xavier said that he has still links in the Liverpool squad. He has still sources in the team. Is very close to the structure of Liverpool. That's the exact words that he used. And there is a lot of talk about Portuguese talents. We already signed Luis Diaz. We already signed Darwin Nunes, two of the biggest stars in Portugal. Matheus Nunes is the next up-and-coming big star coming from Portugal. And some other newspapers are claiming that, like Dylan McBennett claims that Man City are reportedly also in talks with Matheus Nunes to replace Bernardo Silva if he leaves Manchester City. That's a big if at the moment. He's still at Man City and he played against Liverpool in the Community Shield final. Robert Worthington also is reporting, another journalist who said that Wolves also made an offer to sign Matheus Nunes from Sporting. Wolves, of course, love to sign Portuguese players, and Matheus Nunes is, of course, Portuguese as well. And I think if Liverpool get one or two more injuries in midfield, we will be really short in that area. So Matheus Nunes would be definitely an insurance policy. The big insurance policy. The big question is Liverpool trying to save money for next summer to pursue Jude Bellingham, or do they want to sign Matheus Nunes? I think right now, both players could be in the Liverpool squad for the foreseeable future if the money is available. The big question is how big of a role does Jurgen Klopp want to give Fabio Carvalho, Harvey Elliott? Now that Curtis Jones and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain are injured, those two players will probably play a lot more football. And you also don't want to overload the Liverpool squad. You don't want to sign too many players, because then you restrict the playing time of the young players like Harvey Elliott, like Curtis Jones, like Fabio Carvalho. And they need to play if they want to become world-class players. Ben Dinnery, who is a medical expert and is reporting always on Premier League injuries, has suggested that Liverpool could more consistently avoid playing stars dealing with injuries and niggles, rather than simply encouraging them to play through those injuries in order to avoid the more serious injuries happening. There are 8 players right now injured, sidelined for Liverpool, but my personal theory is that we may see a high number of smaller time loss injuries, little niggles that ordinary other teams will play through. But what we will see is the return to play timelines being dramatically reduced, because the players aren't risked unnecessarily. Jurgen Klopp will rotate accordingly to minimize the risk of any of his players suffering a significant setback. And I think having 5 substitutions in the Premier League is really crucial in that. If a player has any small knock or niggle, he can just be substituted, because you don't only have 3 substitutes, but you have 5. And I follow a brilliant page on Twitter called The Tactical Times, who they said that the idea that more signings are needed to be ready for a season is a lot more complicated than it sounds. Performance management is tough. Most managers would say new players need at least 1 year before being comfortable and prepared to perform at their best. What good are numbers if the players who make them up aren't prepared to perform? There are no passengers at the elite level. Creating an environment for hard performance is what's important, and you are better off with a small squad than a big squad that's unsettled and ill-prepared. So I think that Jurgen Klopp trying to keep a smaller squad, but getting the best out of each and every player and staying involved during the whole season, getting most players involved during the whole season as much as possible is, I think, really crucial, that every single player in the squad performs to their absolute maximum ability. And Jurgen Klopp did this with Robertson, with Fabinho. There were a lot of Liverpool fans and even other rival fans who were baffled when Fabinho was not straight into the team. We signed him for big money from Monaco, and Jurgen Klopp actually took months until Fabinho was starting regularly at Liverpool, because Jurgen Klopp wanted him to settle to both life on the pitch and off the pitch. The idea that the player can move to another country and start performing on day one is just silly. This is not FIFA career mode where you can just sign a player and from day one he's performing, because in real life there is a lot more to it. And also that's why I said Darwin Nunes will probably not start in the first few weeks at Liverpool, so he will have more time to get accustomed to how Liverpool play And Darwin Núñez himself said that he immediately felt under a lot of pressure because of this big money transfer to Liverpool. But Jurgen Klopp creates an environment where these players can settle, can calm down, not feel the pressure too much. And also, as a substitute player, you are not really under pressure immediately to start scoring goals and delivering. But Darwin Núñez getting a goal and an assist on his debut is absolutely brilliant for his confidence. And Alan Shearer said that Liverpool also have a new look forward line with Sadio Mane leaving, Darwin Núñez joining from Benfica, but I don't think their attack will be any less potent and any less of a threat than last season. A big reason for that is Mo Salah signing a new contract, which is absolutely huge for Liverpool, and it will be a weight off Mo Salah's mind, and I expect Salah to score even more goals and get more assists than on average he does in the last 2 or 3 years, because especially the last season, especially the second half of last season, I think the Africa Cup of Nations, losing the final, not qualifying to the World Cup with Egypt, and also this contract talk, it probably weighed on the mind of Mo Salah. Even Virgil van Dijk admitted that. Mo Salah is only a human being, and what Shearer said is we might even see Salah playing better now, which is a frightening prospect for Premier League defenses, but I still think Man City will have the edge come the end of the season. That is Shearer's opinion, but I will do my own Premier League predictions video probably tomorrow. What Virgil van Dijk said, maybe the contract talk affected Mo Salah a little bit, and that's why he wasn't at his best in the second half of last season. He's under the microscope all the time, Mo Salah. He created that himself. He's such a great player. He shows that all the time. At the end of this season, and at the end of last season, there was a lot of talk about his contract. We are all human beings. Maybe that affected Salah a little bit, unfortunately, but he still showed high levels and quality, played with a free mind, and he's happy to be here. Everyone is happy to be here. And Liverpool are really looking forward to the season and trying to win as many trophies as possible. And Van Dijk also talked about him coming in for a big money transfer, and he scored on his debut. And for Darwin Núñez, it's the same as for me, Van Dijk said. The transfer fee is not something you should think about. He just has to keep his head down, work hard and be an important player. I don't speak Spanish, so I don't speak with him yet. That's quite difficult at the moment. But we have plenty of experienced players who speak to him at any chance that's possible. He learns a lot in training and sees how we want to play, how we defend and attack. He just has to focus on himself and the team. He has to improve, get settled in as quickly as possible, and the way to do that is to learn in training. He shouldn't look at what others have to say about his performances. That's the keys to success. If you perform, then you will be fine. Don't get distracted. That's the main thing. So I think Liverpool are ready for the season, and I'm really looking forward to the Premier League kicking off tomorrow with the Crystal Palace Arsenal game, and more career mode videos are coming very soon. I'm working on them at the moment. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. Have a nice day. See you later. Goodbye.